Welcome back, legends. Today, we're delving into the captivating world of Greek mythology, but we're flipping the script. Instead of praising the mighty gods, we're diving deep into the 10 worst deities that ever graced Mount Olympus. Brace yourselves for a journey into the dark and twisted side of Greek mythology. Let's start with Zeus, shall we? The almighty ruler of Mount Olympus. Zeus may appear majestic with his thunderbolts and regal demeanor, but don't let that fool you. Behind his kingly facade lies a deity notorious for his insatiable appetite for power and pleasure. Zeus's infidelity knows no bounds. Throughout Greek mythology, he's depicted as a serial philanderer, indulging in countless affairs with mortal women and goddesses alike. From seducing unsuspecting maidens to deceiving his own wife, Hera, Zeus's lustful escapades often leave a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives. But Zeus's tyranny extends beyond his amorous exploits. As the king of the gods, he wields his power with an iron fist, punishing those who dare to defy him or challenge his authority. From hurling thunderbolts at dissenters to casting down rebellious titans, Zeus's wrath knows no bounds, leaving a wake of destruction in its path. Furthermore, Zeus's cunning nature often leads him to manipulate events to suit his own agenda. Whether it's orchestrating wars among mortals or intervening in the affairs of gods, Zeus's machinations serve to further his own interests, regardless of the consequences for others. In conclusion, Zeus may be the king of the gods, but his actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by his own desires and driven by a sense of entitlement. From his rampant infidelity to his ruthless exercise of power, Zeus's reign is tainted by darkness and deceit, earning him a well-deserved place among the worst gods in Greek mythology. Now, let's shine a spotlight on Hera, the queen of the gods. While she may exude an air of authority and elegance, Hera's actions reveal a darker side to her divine nature. Hera's jealousy knows no bounds. As the wife of Zeus, she is often portrayed as fiercely protective of her marriage, to the point of obsession. Her wrath is directed not only towards Zeus's many lovers but also towards their illegitimate children, whom she punishes mercilessly out of spite and envy. Furthermore, Hera is not above using manipulation and deceit to achieve her goals. Whether it's tricking Zeus into marriage or plotting against his paramours, Hera's schemes often result in suffering and tragedy for those caught in her web of lies. Hera's vengeful nature extends beyond her dealings with Zeus's lovers. She is also known for her conflicts with other gods and goddesses, particularly those who dare to challenge her authority or question her decisions. From her rivalry with Athena to her disdain for Hercules, Hera's animosity towards those she deems unworthy knows no bounds. Lastly, Hera's adherence to patriarchal norms and her role in perpetuating gender inequality cannot be overlooked. As the queen of Olympus, she often reinforces traditional gender roles and punishes those who deviate from them, contributing to a culture of oppression and discrimination within the divine realm. In summary, Hera may be revered as the queen of the gods, but her actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by jealousy, vindictiveness, and a desire for control. Let's descend into the depths of the underworld as we explore the enigmatic figure of Hades. While he may be the ruler of the realm of the dead, Hades's actions reveal a darker side to his divine nature. Hades's domain is shrouded in darkness and despair, where the souls of the deceased languish for eternity. As the ruler of the underworld, he wields absolute power over life and death, but his rule is characterized by oppression and torment rather than justice and mercy. Furthermore, Hades is often portrayed as a figure of fear and dread, instilling terror in the hearts of mortals and gods alike. His realm is guarded by monstrous creatures and treacherous landscapes, ensuring that those who enter never leave, trapped in an endless cycle of suffering and despair. Hades's influence extends beyond the boundaries of the underworld, as he often plays a role in tragic myths and legends. From abducting Persephone to orchestrating the downfall of Orpheus, Hades's actions bring about untold sorrow and devastation, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered dreams in his wake. Lastly, Hades's detachment from the affairs of the living and his indifference to their suffering paint a picture of a deity devoid of empathy and compassion. While other gods may intervene in mortal affairs or show mercy to the deserving, Hades remains aloof and indifferent, consumed by his own power and isolation. In conclusion, Hades may rule over the realm of the dead, but his actions reveal a deity consumed by darkness and despair. Now, let's turn our attention to the tempestuous deity of the seas, Poseidon. While he may command the oceans with unrivaled power, Poseidon's actions often reveal a darker side to his divine nature. Poseidon's wrath knows no bounds when it comes to the seas. As the god of the ocean, he is known for his unpredictable temper and penchant for causing storms and shipwrecks. Sailors who incur his displeasure often find themselves at the mercy of raging waves and treacherous currents, their ships torn asunder by the fury of the sea. Furthermore, Poseidon's conflicts with other gods and mortals alike often result in widespread devastation and suffering. From his rivalry with Athena over the city of Athens to his feud with Odysseus on his journey home, Poseidon's vindictiveness knows no bounds, as he seeks to punish those who defy or disrespect him. Moreover, Poseidon's actions often have dire consequences for both mortals and marine life. His reckless behavior and disregard for the delicate balance of the ocean ecosystem result in environmental destruction and ecological imbalance, threatening the livelihoods of countless creatures and communities that depend on the sea for survival. Lastly, Poseidon's insatiable appetite for power and conquest fuels his desire to expand his dominion over the seas and beyond. Whether it's laying claim to new territories or asserting his authority over rival gods, Poseidon's ambition knows no bounds, as he seeks to establish himself as the supreme ruler of the watery depths. In conclusion, Poseidon may be revered as the god of the seas, but his actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by wrath, vindictiveness, and ambition. Let's now focus our attention on Apollo, the god of music, poetry, and plague. While he may be celebrated for his artistic talents, Apollo's actions often reveal a darker side to his divine nature. Apollo's dual nature as both a bringer of light and a harbinger of disease is a paradox in Greek mythology. While he may inspire poets and musicians with his melodic tunes, Apollo is also known for unleashing plague and pestilence upon mortals, as punishment for perceived slights or transgressions. Furthermore, Apollo's arrogance and pride often lead him to act with reckless abandon, heedless of the consequences for those affected by his actions. Whether it's challenging mortals to contests of skill or exacting vengeance on those who dare to oppose him, Apollo's hubris knows no bounds, as he seeks to assert his superiority over all who stand in his way. Moreover, Apollo's adherence to rigid social hierarchies and his role in perpetuating inequality cannot be overlooked. As the god of prophecy, Apollo often wields his foresight to manipulate events and maintain the status quo, ensuring that those in power remain unchallenged while the marginalized and disenfranchised continue to suffer. Lastly, Apollo's interference in mortal affairs often leads to tragic consequences, as seen in the stories of Daphne, Cassandra, and Hyacinth, among others. Whether it's cursing lovers to eternal solitude or dooming prophets to be disbelieved, Apollo's actions bring about untold sorrow and despair, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered dreams in his wake. In conclusion, Apollo may be revered as the god of music and poetry, but his actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by arrogance, pride, and indifference to the suffering of mortals. Let's now delve into the tumultuous world of Ares, the god of war. While he may be celebrated for his prowess on the battlefield, Ares's actions often reveal a darker side to his divine nature. Ares's insatiable thirst for conflict and bloodshed knows no bounds. As the personification of war, he revels in the chaos and destruction wrought by mortal conflicts, delighting in the screams of the dying and the clash of swords on the battlefield. Furthermore, Ares's impulsiveness and lack of restraint often lead him to act with reckless abandon, heedless of the consequences for both mortals and gods alike. Whether it's goading mortals into senseless wars or inciting violence among the divine, Ares's actions bring about untold suffering and despair wherever he goes. Moreover, Ares's influence extends beyond the battlefield, as he often plays a role in perpetuating cycles of violence and revenge that span generations. From fueling feuds among mortal kingdoms to inciting conflicts among the gods themselves, Ares's belligerence knows no bounds, as he seeks to sow discord and chaos wherever he goes. Lastly, Ares's disregard for honor and valor sets him apart from other gods associated with warfare. While Athena embodies strategic prowess and disciplined warfare, Ares represents the darker aspects of combat, characterized by brutality, deceit, and betrayal. In conclusion, Ares may be revered as the god of war, but his actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by violence, chaos, and discord. Now, let's explore the intoxicating realm of Dionysus, the god of wine and ecstasy. While he may be celebrated for his festive revelries, Dionysus's actions often reveal a darker side to his divine nature. Dionysus's revelries are infamous for their excess and debauchery, as his followers indulge in drunken orgies and ecstatic rituals. While these festivities may seem harmless at first glance, Dionysus's influence often leads to chaos and disorder, as mortals lose themselves in a haze of wine and madness. Furthermore, Dionysus's worship is characterized by a blurring of the boundaries between the mortal and divine, as his followers seek to transcend the limitations of their earthly existence through ecstatic experiences. However, this pursuit of transcendence often leads to madness and delirium, as mortals lose touch with reality and succumb to Dionysus's intoxicating influence. Moreover, Dionysus's disregard for social norms and conventions sets him apart from other gods associated with revelry and celebration. While other deities may embody the virtues of moderation and self-control, Dionysus revels in the chaos and disorder that accompany his worship, often leading to societal breakdown and moral decay. Lastly, Dionysus's influence extends beyond the realm of celebration, as his worship often leads to addiction and dependency among his followers. Whether it's alcoholism or other forms of substance abuse, Dionysus's intoxicating allure can quickly spiral out of control, leaving mortals trapped in a cycle of despair and suffering. In conclusion, Dionysus may be revered as the god of wine and ecstasy, but his actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by chaos, disorder, and excess. Now, let's turn our attention to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt and the wilderness. While she may be revered as a protector of nature, Artemis's actions often reveal a darker side to her divine nature. Artemis's pursuit of the hunt knows no bounds, as she mercilessly tracks and kills her prey with ruthless efficiency. While she may be celebrated as a protector of wildlife, Artemis's actions often result in suffering and death for the creatures she hunts, as they fall victim to her unrelenting pursuit. Furthermore, Artemis's disdain for mortals is well documented, as she often punishes those who offend her with swift and severe retribution. Whether it's transforming Actaeon into a stag for daring to gaze upon her naked form or striking down Niobe for boasting of her fertility, Artemis's wrath knows no bounds, as she seeks to maintain her authority and dominance over mortals. Moreover, Artemis's adherence to patriarchal norms and her role in perpetuating gender inequality cannot be overlooked. As a virgin goddess, Artemis embodies the virtues of chastity and purity, often enforcing strict codes of conduct that limit the autonomy and agency of women within her domain. Lastly, Artemis's indifference to the suffering of mortals and her role in perpetuating cycles of violence and revenge paint a picture of a deity consumed by cruelty and caprice. Whether it's unleashing her wrath on unsuspecting mortals or perpetuating feuds among rival factions, Artemis's actions often result in untold sorrow and despair for those caught in her web of violence and intrigue. In conclusion, Artemis may be revered as the goddess of the hunt and the wilderness, but her actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by cruelty, indifference, and a desire for control. Now, let's turn our gaze to Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare. While she may be celebrated for her strategic prowess and intellect, Athena's actions often reveal a darker side to her divine nature. Athena's involvement in mortal conflicts often brings about untold suffering and devastation. While she may embody the virtues of wisdom and strategy, Athena's actions on the battlefield are characterized by ruthlessness and indifference to the plight of those caught in the crossfire of war. Furthermore, Athena's pride and arrogance often lead her to act with a sense of entitlement and superiority. Whether it's challenging mortal heroes to contests of skill or orchestrating the downfall of her rivals among the gods, Athena's hubris knows no bounds, as she seeks to assert her dominance over all who oppose her. Moreover, Athena's adherence to patriarchal norms and her role in perpetuating gender inequality cannot be overlooked. As a virgin goddess, Athena embodies the virtues of chastity and purity, often enforcing strict codes of conduct that limit the autonomy and agency of women within her domain. Lastly, Athena's interference in mortal affairs often leads to tragic consequences, as seen in the stories of Medusa, Arachne, and Tiresias, among others. Whether it's cursing mortals to eternal torment or denying them justice and redemption, Athena's actions bring about untold sorrow and despair, leaving a trail of broken lives and shattered dreams in her wake. In conclusion, Athena may be revered as the goddess of wisdom and warfare, but her actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by pride, arrogance, and indifference to the suffering of mortals. Let's delve into the enigmatic realm of Hermes, the messenger of the gods and the patron of travelers and thieves. While he may be celebrated for his swiftness and cunning, Hermes' actions often reveal a darker side to his divine nature. Hermes' penchant for trickery and deceit knows no bounds. As the god of thieves and commerce, he often uses his wit and cunning to outsmart mortals and gods alike, leaving a trail of chaos and confusion in his wake. Whether it's stealing cattle from his brother Apollo or deceiving unsuspecting mortals with his silver tongue, Hermes' actions often result in betrayal and disillusionment for those who place their trust in him. Furthermore, Hermes' disregard for social norms and conventions sets him apart from other gods associated with communication and travel. While other deities may embody the virtues of honesty and integrity, Hermes revels in subverting authority and challenging the status quo, often leading to societal upheaval and unrest. Moreover, Hermes' association with commerce and trade often leads him to prioritize material wealth and personal gain over the well-being of others. Whether it's engaging in shady business dealings or exploiting vulnerable populations for profit, Hermes' actions contribute to a culture of greed and corruption that permeates the mortal world. Lastly, Hermes' indifference to the suffering of mortals and his role in perpetuating cycles of exploitation and oppression paint a picture of a deity consumed by self-interest and apathy. While he may serve as a mediator between gods and mortals, Hermes' allegiance ultimately lies with himself, as he seeks to navigate the complexities of the divine realm for his own benefit. In conclusion, Hermes may be revered as the messenger of the gods and the patron of travelers and thieves, but his actions paint a picture of a deity consumed by deceit, greed, and indifference to the suffering of others. And there you have it, folks. The 10 worst gods in Greek mythology. From jealousy to wrath, these deities certainly know how to leave their mark on history. Which god surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mythological content. Until next time, stay legendary.